Well, hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Those of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel know that I love the This Little Piggy stamp set. And I've done a lot of tutorials on how to cut out the little piggies with the Brother Scan and Cut. Okay, I'm using Stampin' Up! This Little Piggy stamp set. And what I'm going to do today is emphasize, we're going to cut out a whole sheet of piggies, and I'm going to emphasize how to get rid of these little bits of text. Okay? Like this little piggy, or if you have any of the other stamps that came with text, like I actually cut that one off. Okay, or the grass. How to get rid of all the little bits so that you can just cut out your piggy only. Okay, so you might have also known from my videos that I use painter's tape on my mats to hold the paper in place because the mats are not very sticky. I've tried to re-stick them and I've tried different things, but nothing seems to work for me except for painter's tape. Okay, and one more thing I want to say is I didn't add painter's tape to the top bits, okay, because, or the bottom yet. I will before I cut. The reason I didn't do that is because I need to leave these lines clear. When you scan, you need to leave all the numbers in your mat clear so that the Brother Scan and Cut can recognize. Okay, we've started the Brother Scan and Cut. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to select Scan. Because I'm going to directly cut out the piggies, I'm going to select Direct Cut. I'm going to go ahead and load the mat. You may be asking, I don't recognize this stylus. I just don't know what happened to the one that came with my brother. I'm pressing the start button. So therefore I'm just using a different stylus I had. Any stylus you have is fine. But it's very hard to use your finger for what I'm going to show you, so I had to use a stylus. Okay. As it's recognizing, I'm going to go ahead and add tape to those other parts now because it doesn't matter that I cover them up after the scanning happens. So I'm going to go ahead and add tape. I'm going to say okay. And for the first time, I made it to clean my screen, but it didn't do a very good job of scanning my piggies. But let's just zoom in because the point will be taken. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these 4 piggies on the top left. Just for the, in the interest of saving time. I've selected that area. Let me zoom in to show you. Okay, great job in this area. It selected the piggies, but as you can see, it also selected some of the text, some of the grass. We don't want that. The very first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to go into this feature here and say ignore object size. I know my piggies are, an inch or 2 tall, so I'm really safe by saying that I want to ignore object size, like anything up to like 0.75 inches or so. You see what I mean? I know that it'll get rid of the little bits without me having to select them. I'm going to say okay. And then I also like to put a border around, an outline distance around my piggies. I just select the smallest option. Okay, I'm going to say okay, and it's going to take me to another screen. Okay, this is good. Now everything's already been deselected for me. At this point, I could go in there and delete extra bits, but I don't need to. So I'm going to go ahead and say cut. And I'm going to say start. Now, I'm using Whisper White cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and use a blade depth of 5 for that. I use 4 for Designer Series paper. I use 5 for Whisper White. I use 6 for Stampin' Up! Cardstock. You have to get to know your particular machine to know which blade depth to use. Okay, it's only going to take a minute. Sometimes I also, give it a little rub to make sure stays on there. Now please stay tuned because I'm going to show you what happens if I didn't ignore the object size and I still had a couple little bits of text, what would happen. So we'll do that with just 1 or 2 pigs. Because that's the real question I keep getting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unload my mat. Finish cutting, unload my mat. Now, the trick is to peel these off. Okay, I just bend the mat. I mean, wonderful job. All I need to do, this one I need to do nothing to. Just get the little bit of painter's tape off the flower. See, that little piggy's perfect. This little piggy, I just need to cut off a little bit of the grass in the bottom unless I want to leave it there, which is fine. Okay, I think it did a fantastic job. Again, my little dancing pig is fine. And my other pig. Okay, so imagine I'd still be fuzzy cutting. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go to home, delete patterns, scan again, load the mat. Okay, I'm going to say direct cut, start. Now I'm taking my painter's tape off the bottom of my mat because again, I don't want to cover those lines. It's how my piggies register onto the Brother Scan and Cut. And one of these days I'll show you the maintenance to get this to recognize more because it's a little dustier, it'll be recognizing a little better. Okay, now I went ahead and add the painter's tape to the bottom of my mat again. Alright, looks like it did a better job. I'm going to say okay. Not too much. Okay, we only have this piggy as a choice here. It's the only piggy that's fully selected, which means I know it's time to clean my plastic parts. Okay, this time I'm going to select one piggy. I'm actually going to leave a little bit of the snout of the other piggy there, just to show you. I am not going to ignore object size. If I do, it'll just make all my problems go away. But instead, I want to show you what happens when I don't ignore the object size. Okay, I'm going to say okay. Oh, first, I definitely would like a border around my piggy. So let's do that while we're here. I'm going to say okay. Now, this is key. I have all these little bits, okay? I don't want these little bits. I don't want to cut out the pig snout, all these extra bits. I could have ignored the object size and got rid of them that way. But instead, I hit the little shapes, and now I'm in the editing mode. This one is red. That means I can trash that little piece, okay? Whatever is red is what is selected. I could select each one and do this. I could toggle through. I'm just going to keep hitting trash. Now, you want to make sure you don't trash the big pig because it could get selected in order. Now, ignoring object size, as you can see, saved me all kinds of time. Okay, I'm going to have to do all this manually. I'm going to have to say trash. Now, I could select an area as well, but I'm just doing this to show you. And it won't take that long because I have a stylus. Again, remember, do not delete your piggy itself. I'm left with just my piggy. How do I know I'm left with just my piggy? The reason I know is because there's nothing left to select. There's no way to toggle back and forth, meaning I don't have two objects to select between. There's only one object left. That's what I'm going to cut out. Okay, and I hope that would answer the questions I've been having. Okay, I'm going to say cut, and I'm going to say start. Now, normally, when I cut out my piggies, I have about, let's see, there's 16 piggies on a page, and maybe 15 piggies will cut out. So I know that my tray's a little dirty, so I have to definitely wipe that off. Okay, so there I went. There I did it. And I'm removing the piggy. And it's perfect. So thank you for watching. And be sure to stay tuned for more Brother Scan and Cut tutorials. And please check out the rest of my videos on the Brother Scan and Cut. Thank you.